Welcome to Expert Viewpoints, Organizational Maturity and Change. In this video, experts will discuss the change forces that impact a program manager and provide tips to deal with change effectively.
Change forces that impact a program manager are typically change in strategic direction. Sometimes your program is not the priority anymore, or there's things that are higher in priority than your program, and you need to remain flexible.
Program managers, because they're operating across multiple projects and multiple groups of people, tend to be affected by scope creep. And so you're going to want to monitor at the program level where your change is happening, but also at the individual project level or within the group level as well. Additional items that may affect your projects and result in change are just from a capacity perspective, if you have individuals who have to be away from the project for a while, if you determine that a specific task or a specific input is going to take longer than what was originally planned, you may have to rework not only the milestones to achieve that deliverable, but other milestones that are dependent on that deliverable.
Change is a reality in a program. In many cases, a program is long-term. During that particular period, the business requirements may change, stakeholders may change, technology may change. Change may come internally in the form of new management or new stakeholders. It may come externally in the form of heightened expectations or new expectations that you hadn't considered from customers and end users as well. Be aware of change, develop a change process, and ensure everyone is aware that change is welcome as long as it is presented in a formal way that allows for a complete analysis and a great decision.
Change forces comes from three main sources: the program itself, the internal force within the organization, and the external forces such as the market shift or a regulatory change or a change in the business ecosystem. These forces are significantly impact a program's direction and success.
You have to think about, what would I do if I didn't have this, as much budget? What would I do if this key person left? Do I have a backup plan? Do I have people that can fill in? Thinking about those, particularly for the big items, you don't need to do that for every detail. Obviously, that's impossible. But for big items, if you have a key stakeholder that owns a big part of the development of your project, think about what would happen if that person left. What would I do? How would I deal with that? How would I address it? And that can really help you avoid some of those pitfalls as they happen.
What tips can you provide to deal with change effectively?
One of your key goals during program planning is to ensure that there is a program change process that is developed, published, evangelized, and understood by all key stakeholders. I'm sure you've probably heard of project scope creep. Well, scope creep can happen at a program level as well. And if scope creep occurs at a program level, in all likelihood, it's going to impact a number of individual projects or other components that all need to come together and integrate for the program to be successful. Develop that change process. Ensure it's part of your program management plan. Ensure all key stakeholders understand the process for submitting changes and the approval process as well.
To effectively deal with change, you need to remain flexible and keep the lines of communication open and stay up to date with industry trends. So in my area, we have regulatory changes, and of course, those come above any program, any strategic item that we have. We need to make sure we're complying with regulatory items. So staying in the know with what's going on in your industry, in your company, with your program, strategic goals, and making sure that your program aligns with that. Or if it doesn't, reevaluate the program.
Sometimes if a project was really, really critical and it was really date driven, I would create multiple versions of a schedule just in case something went wrong. What's my worst case schedule? What's my best case schedule? And then you've got two versions that you can work with. And as things move in one direction or the other, people are ahead, things are being delivered more quickly, then you can work off of that best case scenario. If things start to deteriorate, someone leaves the team, budget's cut, then you start working off of that worst case scenario schedule. So things like that can be tools that can help you effectively anticipate change, and then as change comes up, you can deal with it better.
To effectively manage change, let us start by anticipating it and regularly reviewing and assessing the potential change drivers to stay ahead. Next step is to implement a robust change management process using of forecasting tools to document, track, and communicate changes clearly with all the stakeholders. Another important factor and that needs to be considered is continuous training and effective communications are vital to manage change, ensuring that all the stakeholders are aligned and prepared for the transition. Also, fostering a culture of flexibility and adaptability, and also encouraging your team member to embrace change and view it as an opportunity and growth rather than a risk management technique.
So other tips to deal with change are clear communication. So having your communication plan in place. So having meetings set up recurring so that you've got regular check-ins with your project manager. Being self-serve and using any chat capabilities as much as possible for communication so you're not always disrupting the day with a meeting. And then clear escalation matrix. And so knowing what the triggers are for any escalations or any risks and being able to see and identify those ahead of time and getting the right people involved to prevent them from happening or lessening the impact if you do encounter the situation that's going to cause problems.